notes. This is from, I think one of the pages from Eunice and the Ophanum, which I recorded on 2/22/21. And the video before this made me go back to my notes because it reminded me of a lot of the symbolism that Spirit was showing about the invading of Israel from the north and storms in the north. And so I'm just looking over my notes, and there are a few things that are catching my attention from that video that I just... So we have storms in the north, a lot of north symbolism, which really dealt with God as like really defending like his throne, or in this sense, defending the people, power to the motherfucking people. Even here, where it talks about in the Bible where the Jews, 10,000 Jews were captured. And I think it's really fascinating that Tel Aviv is essentially destroyed now in Israel. And that is exactly, they're done. Like, people thought that they were going to win, this war because of a lot of the spiritual workings that they were doing. But during the slaughter of the red heifers that the Zionist Jews engaged in during this most recent Passover, and I think they did another one right before we came into the new year. And if any of you study biblic esoterics, or you get into the metaphysics of really breaking down scripture past how you were raised in church, you'll know the spiritual components of that ritual. And those of you who have been following me for a while will know that I think it was either last year, now I have to go back and look at my notes, it was either last year or the year before, where Spirit had me engage in the 9-day ritual that was countering the ritual that the Zionist Jews were engaging in, which was the slaughter of the red heifer on behalf of the deity that they worship, which is Baal. Spirit had me engaging in a 9-day blood ritual as well, and not the blood or the slaughter of any animals or any people, but the blood of the womb. Where does the blood of the womb come from? The blood that flows from her every month. We got to get comfortable and come back into relationship with our wombs, with the blood of our wombs, because there's great power, and like the Bible said, or the churches, there's power in the blood. There's wonder working power in the blood, and the only being on this planet that carries that power is the divine feminine. But I say that to say that here in my notes, you can see that during my studies or my notes, Spirit was describing Israel being invaded, or they think that they're in this end time prophecy, and it shows here in my notes that Israel's end time aggressor descends on them from the north. The invading armies will arrive in Israel from the far north. And the only being that matches this description biblically, according to their scriptures, is Russia. And y'all have to keep in mind that name play is very relevant here. Even if you don't hear these names as essential players in this war, they are. Those players are China and Russia, Israel, Iran, Ukraine, who are really at the center of what is playing out on this land right now. But this war will not only end the illusion of power in the nation of Israel, but this world stage, this current scene that is decaying before us will end the empire, the illusion of power to the empire in every land, not just here in America, not just in Israel, not just in Iran, but this will change the nature of humanity. How we engage with humanity, how we engage with this land. There's a new world coming. I give thanks for the validation again. Hey, chat. Is that not power to the people? Hello? Is that not power to the people? Power to the people. You see that spirit right there? It looks like a woman maybe, or a man, actually. Power to the people. Y'all see that fist? Power to the people. Power will always be in the hands of the people. Don't ever get it fucked up. The power will always be in the hands of the people. Power to the people. It's always been about the children. It's always been about the children, about the sacrificing of children, the exploitation of children, the eating of children, especially the sacrifice of children, about the future of our children, babies being born. This is my war altar. And this appeared days ago. And it's always been about the children. I want to come on here. At some point, I need to record what Spirit is saying and has said. But it's always been about the children, y'all. The Spirit is showing it. It's talking about it. So I never had a chance to actually share my notes from, this is, as you guys can see, 1/28/26, okay? And I never had a chance to actually share my notes. Now, I had never had got a chance to actually get around to sharing the notes that came in from my war altar when I started this altar, dated 1/28/26. And a lot of the way that I read my candle was reading the suit, but really focusing heavily more so on directional placements and what was burning where and which direction. And I know that not only myself, but there has been a lot of people within this collective from every walk of life through every background of spiritual practice that has been putting in work concerning eradicating what's happening. Early on, at the beginning of burning my war altar, Spirit was very clear about victory. about victory being in the hands of the collective, in the hands of the people. But because specifically of the Worx collectively, and the direction of the suit only sitting at the top of the glass, um, it was a message to me that they are really burning through their final desperate attempts at upholding this smoke screen, right? And a lot of this is happening because of the expansion of the minds and the expansion of the consciousness of the people collectively coming online, being brave enough to face what is in front of us, being brave enough to face the ugliest aspects of what has been residing. Okay, so because of our collective intention, we are essentially eradicating the possibilities of them being able to upkeep this illusion, almost like the Oz, getting behind the screen finally, in order to make it to the great eyes, to see it in all of its power, only to learn that these are a small, minuscule men and women that have to use theatrics and magic and stages in order to force people into a false belief. All of that is being eradicated because the people are brave enough to see what needs to be seen. And because of your works, it has caused a response of us being able to attack their strategies, to attack their attempts, because the energy resided, the energy at this time, where the smoke was really focusing its energy, was in the direction of the northeast. And when we think about the energy of the Northeast, it is associated with intellect and planning. Okay, so this tells me that the not only is the collective waking up intellectually and coming online intellectually, but not only are they coming online, but they're coming online with plans. Okay, they're putting plans into place. Okay, in the direction of the East is where the element of air, okay, represents the element of East, but this is where the element of air, which is the East, meets the element of Earth, which is the North. Okay, I'm trying not to confuse y'all. Okay, but because of our works, we're essentially attacking the enemy's ability to be able to see clearly, to be able to think straight. And I think that we see that a lot with this administration. Okay, we see them not being able to really think things through. We see them acting impulsively. Okay, so because of your works, we are essentially blinding them in the realms of spirit. And more than that, spirit was showing that not only are we blinding them, but they can't see us coming because of this blinding. And this blinding is also coming in from every angle. Okay, they've absolutely lost control of being able to control the angles, okay? Being able to control the narrative. The whole goal, and everybody, I feel like we're all just waiting for the answer of what is the reason in the in the language of Cardi B. What was the reason? What was the reason? And the reason for all of this is really just to stop progress, to slow progress. Okay, to make the collective wary about the progress that we're making and moving forward. But I really want y'all to know that we are doing a beautiful job of intercepting it. Okay, within the Northeast, Spirit is also showing a transition of power, and was showing a transition of power at this time, a changing of guards. Okay, we see this happening, especially with the United States and Israel continuing to go into these lands, trying to change, making the attempts to change the regimes. But more than the powers are changing, the powers of spirit are changing. Okay, they are swapping. There is a leveling playing field that is happening here within the spirit, and that swapping that I was talking about is the power and the access that their God, that their gods gave them concerning their ritual, in order for this world to be their playground, will be no longer. And now the ancestors of every indigenous land has been stepping forward and is continuing to step forward in order to say we're changing guards, we're changing gears. Okay, no longer will we operate this way on this land. And there is absolutely spiritual resistance that is happening. Okay, they have their own rituals happening at the same time that we are working our works. They are also working their works. But I want you guys to continue to fight in the things of spirit with the things of spirit. They have their own guards spiritually. Okay, they have their own works going spiritually, but spirit is saying that because of our works collectively, the guards that stands at the doors of the collective in order to protect the collective are activated as well. Okay, and that this war being activated activated them. It activated those gates as well. And we have the guards of the collective clearing the space. Okay, clearing the doors in order for our intentions to continue to pass through, meaning materialize into this realm, meaning existing in the north from that northeast. Okay, meaning that we have to sweep this thing. We are literally going through spiritually and sweeping not only the physical earth, but as well as the spiritual realm. One of the last directions that I want to touch on, because there were a few that came out, but the last one I wanted to touch on is the sacred direction of the south. And when we look at the direction of the south, it deals with passion, okay, our fire. It deals with high sun and intense heat, absolute judgment, offenses, and being reborn, okay. This area of the south is the seat of the sun in its highest, most inescapable position, okay? And in the area of the south, if you guys have been keeping up with the videos, will remember the child or the baby that manifested on my war altar, and it manifested in the direction of the south. And this to me told me during this time that Israel and America were very vulnerable, okay? They were extremely vulnerable to what was happening or what they were playing out, that maybe we were still. This is trial by fire for them. America has been trying to escape their judgment for so long, and as Israel. And so because of our works, we are essentially scorching them, or putting their feet to the fire, or holding their feet to the fire. Okay, the direction of the south and the degree point that it fell in represents fire by trial. Or trial by fire. And the figure being a baby really tells us that the foundation of what they are trying to manifest as it relates to their future is very shaky, and it's also in the hot seat. And not only is it in the hot seat, it's very vulnerable. Okay, the baby formed, the figure formed at 180 degrees, symbolizing descendants or the legacies of these nations. Okay. The future of their legacies are being crippled, okay? Again, with the messaging of Spirit reminding us, again, from some of the replays that I've been putting up, that Spirit is draining the vital sap from this future. And so not only are we affecting them in the now, but we are absolutely toppling them into the future, or their ability to create into the future, okay? The baby was also leaning at that 180 degree point in the west, and the west is actually a representation of America, which is the realm of waters, is our emotions. The southwest is where the sun begins its final descent, and then it fades out of power. And I feel like this is a representation of what is happening, not only with America, but with every nation connected to America. That's why I continue to say that every empire falls. Okay, so Spirit is, I'm going to stop here for now, guys, because there's too many notes and I'm so long-winded, and I can keep going. And so for now, Spirit is, continuing to now, and then when this started back in January, is sending the message that not only have we weakened their defense and made them extremely, extremely vulnerable, but they are moving from their strength and have moved from the direction of their strength and to the direction of the grave, okay, or towards the end of the day. So their energy is waning. That power is energy. So don't Don't be persuaded by the smoke screens that we see happening around us. Use your discernment, okay? Make sure that your eye is seeing things clearly, and that you are upright in your position, okay? And so, for now, peace.